What is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. We are going to have a great time tonight. We have an awesome guest who needs our help. And I thought we were talking about this the other day, and I thought, what an absolutely perfect topic for us to do a live stream on, because I feel like this happens all the time where someone is going to ask you a question about what kind of a gun they need. And I almost like, whenever someone asks me this question, I actually get all excited because I'm like, hey, I can help you with this. I know the answer to your question, or I can at least kind of help guide you a little bit. So, super exciting to be able to help someone make a gun purchase. We get to spend somebody else's money instead of our own money. All right, let's roll through the chat here. We've got several people in. Miles is here, always MC, big fan. He's got a great little channel too. Go check him out. Rose, I don't think I know Rose. Huh. Welcome, Rose. And the 80% is still able to sell certain items without having to go through an FFL, a serial number, case of the court. Not that would have ordered something. Oh, she must have been talking about something else. I don't know what that's about. Okay. Rose, are you still here? You want to help us out? What are you talking about? The concept. Okay, they're having an entirely other conversation. 19 OZ is about to shoot off to bed, but he wants to get a +1 for the 308 before he goes. Okay, good deal. I guess over in my thumbnail, it probably kind of said what we were going to be talking about. And Mr. Del Pogue is here. What is up? And the Atom Bomb is new here. Welcome to the show. All right, so before we bring in our guest, I need a couple things to tell you. Number one, thank you all of you guys who are here who have joined from the last couple of days. We have added a significant percentage of subscribers just in the last, since Monday. So today's Wednesday, last 3 days. Jack is here from Utah. Big fan of Utah. I don't think I've ever been to Utah, but I really want to go. Utah is awesome. But anyway, we've added so many new subscribers. Thank you guys. If you're new here, say you're new, meet some of the regulars. We like to do these live streams every once in a while. I would love to do one a week. This time of year, that does not work for me, but I'm going to do my best and try to get some interesting people in that have an interesting perspective or something that they can bring to the table. And then we can just kind of do a podcast style hangout. You guys can ask questions. So far, we've had a really good time on these. Let's see. The next thing is there is a 7,000 subscriber giveaway. We were trying to hit 7,000 by the end of the year, and I missed it by 17 subscribers. I think it was 17 or 19 subscribers. Anyway, we crossed it, and then now we've blown right past it. But we're doing a 7,000 subscriber giveaway. If you have not seen it, I can't show you anything from it in a live stream, but it is a case with the foam that you cut out custom to fit your guns. There's an instructional video to show you how to do it. It'll be coming out next week. And the giveaway runs, I think, until the first Friday or Saturday in February. So we've just got about 2 weeks left on that giveaway. There is a video that you need to go back and comment. Make sure you're subscribed. There's nothing to purchase. I am not selling anything as a giveaway. It's just a giveaway as a thank you for you guys being here. Okay, yeah, man, we mess with 3D printed stuff. I can't show you anything, but I have a 3D printer and I print stuff on it. And you know when I got the 3D printer, it was actually for my daughter. And the very first thing that we printed was a Glock 19 chassis. So yeah, anyway, we do mess with some 3D printers. All right, let's go ahead and bring in our guest. This is a buddy of mine. His name is Evan, and he is from the Half Shop. Evan, what is up, buddy?
There it is. All right, sweet.
There you are.
What's up?
Doing all right?
I am doing great.
I'm excited to have you on. We've got some great questions, some stuff firing up over here in the chat. Why don't you tell us what is Half Shop and tell us what you do?
So Half Shop, what we do is we create custom apparel. Just like the hat I actually have on now. So we do leather patch hats, stained out, custom apparel for you. We also do firefighter straps. We're bringing out in the next couple weeks. We're bringing out some guitar straps in the next
Oh,
couple months. So, yeah, we just do some custom leather work. That's what we
all
do.
handmade, original
Handmade, hand
ideas.
tooled. We also do leather cut stuff as well, or laser cut stuff as well. So we do a lot of leather stuff, and then every once in a while we throw in some metal and we throw in some wood stuff too. So
Oh, nice.
we're kind of jack of all trades and master of nothing.
So you've got an Instagram that you're pretty active on.
I do have an Instagram, so if you guys want to check me out, my Instagram is called Half Shop Store. It
Oh yeah,
is on
Half Shop
Instagram.
Store.
Half Shop Store is on Instagram. You can also check me out on TikTok, Half Shop on TikTok, and then you can check me out on Facebook as well. Half Shop
Okay.
Store on Facebook. So
And are you doing anything on YouTube?
I am not doing anything on YouTube. I actually have done some stuff. So
Yeah.
if you check out my Half Shop on YouTube, it's not store, it's just Half Shop on YouTube. I've done a couple builds on there, some metalworking stuff and some woodworking stuff. So built some gates and stuff like that, kind of helping some people out.
You had a knife sharpening, polishing video too, I think.
I did. I have built a couple
Been a
knives
while.
in my time, and a couple. Yeah, I've hand forged a couple knives, so that's been fun too. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we are jack of all trades and master of nothing.
I think a lot of people feel like that. I can share the sentiment. He's made some hats for me. They're really cool stuff. Both of my businesses have had some gear from him, and I think he's making me an Eagle Run something or other. He won't tell me what it is, but
I am. We're gonna make some cool Eagle Run merch coming out soon. So
all right, good deal. Okay, so we ran into each other the other day. Here's the backstory to this. He comes up to me. What's up? Handshake. Listen, I need some help with a firearm. And I'm like, we got you. What's up? So he's telling me what it is, and I'm going to have him go through. And this, if you're guiding someone along, the number one question, actually, I want you guys put in the comments what the first question you ask is. Number one question I ask every single time is, what do you want to do with it? What is the purpose of the gun? And so I guess we'll just start with that. What do you want this thing to do?
So I would really like it to do large game hunting is really what I wanted to do. And also we could do target practice as well, but the main goal is to harvest animals. That's the whole main goal of it. So,
and are we? So there's some people here from all over the country.
yes.
So big game is going to mean different things to different people.
That's true, because I could say big game and people from Colorado are like elks, and I'm like, no,
They're like, hey, your Texas whitetail ain't big game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas whitetail is probably like a bunny up there to them, right?
Yeah.
So big game to Texans. So whitetail, hog. I think we have some muley deer down here. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking to go out and do. So kind of
hog and deer here in Texas.
Yes.
Okay. So the next question, and Miles is saying, or who was that? Barron said budget, and budget is a top 5 question for sure, in my opinion. He's got it at his number 1. I guess you could go budget number 1, so that way you can kind of start to get a direction. But I happen to know that Half Shop wants to build this firearm, and so he's looking at making some decisions based on budget in general, but also he's going to spend money on the important stuff here. So yeah, budget is a great consideration. So Miles has also beat me to it here. The next question is, at what distances will you typically be shooting these deer and hogs? In Texas, we have wide open plains, so you could theoretically reach out and touch a deer somewhere. But in general, do you have any idea what kind of a range you're going to be looking at?
Our probably highest range is going to be probably 500 yards. Is probably our highest range we want to go. Other than that, I don't think, like, if we're going any higher than 500, then we're probably getting into just target practice.
Yeah.
So
So just reach out for fun at that point.
Just reach out. Yeah, I mean, after 500, you're just reaching out for fun, right?
So what let's get some questions in. What do you have hunting experience?
I do have some hunting experience.
All right, what have you been doing?
So I have. So out here in Texas, we have the grasslands, and in Texas, on public property here locally, you can only use rifled shotguns. You cannot use anything higher than a shotgun, 12 gauge. So that's kind of what I'm set up with now.
Okay.
And so your range is, well, with your shotguns, you and rifled shotguns, you could reach out and touch some stuff. But I want to go a little bit farther. So that's what I've been doing lately. Um,
So you've
and
shot like a slug, like a rifled slug out of a
yeah,
shotgun.
yeah,
What I don't know that I've ever actually. I don't know that I've done. I've shot those before, but probably like inside of 50 yards. I want. Do they actually group at 100 yards? Are they accurate?
yeah, they'll group at 100 yards. Yeah,
Interesting.
they're
Huh.
fun, but it feels like it's going to blow your arm off.
Yeah, that when you get the slugs and the buckshot going out of the 12 gauge, you ain't
Yeah,
messing
it's a
around.
totally different ball game. So
Yeah.
I want to tone that down a little bit. And yeah, I would like to do where I'm shooting distances. Um, yeah.
Okay. So let's see here. Baron says he's always wanted to hunt a Neil guy. Did you know that's how you say that? Neil guy?
What's that?
Neil guy.
Oh yeah,
Nilgai.
yeah. So when you start getting into that, that's when you're going to like guide hunts on
Yeah.
private property, and you are paying for that guided hunt, and you are paying a hefty price for that. So I that is not my budget range.
Right.
And that's kind of why I'm building this gun, is because I just don't have the funds just to start chucking money at
Yeah.
firearms. So that's why I wanted to build it. So when I build it, I can build it over time, and I'm not just going down to Academy and picking one up and spending
Right.
$1,200. So I can
Yeah.
spend $500. I can spend $800 here. I can wait a couple months, spend another 250. Things like that.
That's my number one recommendation. If you're willing to jump into the building it, I love that you can just slow play it over
Yeah.
a couple of months, and you can end up with something that you really like, and you didn't have to write a $1,500 check all at once. Spread it out over a couple months. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
Oh, Angry Sarge is here.
The half
What's
shop
up, Angry Sarge?
half shop can't afford $1,500 a month yet.
you need some. You need some more deals.
Yeah, I need some more. I need some more business. So
Glocks are plastic anyway. Oh, they were talking about some 3D printing.
your 3D
stuff
printed stuff.
Yeah.
I
don't metal 3D printers. I wonder. I mean, 3D printers, the plastic ones used to be thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
now
no,
you can
like
pick them up for
$250.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous. I think you can get the Ender 3D printers. I think they're like $250 off the shelf, ready to print. They're pretty sick. They're fun to play with too.
Yeah.
But
You've
I
done some
think
3D printing.
I have. I actually have one. I think there he is.
There we go.
There he is.
What is it?
It is a Prusa original.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I actually got him probably about 2 years ago, and been using him and just printing little stuff off.
I really enjoy it. I think it's kind of fun. We haven't fired ours up in a couple of months probably, but we were printing lots of stuff there for a while. Okay, so 125 yards with a 12 gauge into a paper plate all day long. So
Yes,
we're talking about
it's easy. I mean,
like a 6 or an 8-inch group.
yeah.
How big are your paper plates? 10 inches.
Yeah, paper plate's 10.
So that, what do they call that? Minute of deer or whatever.
Yeah,
it's accurate within a minute of deer.
Yep.
So a minute of dinner. Yeah, that makes All right, so I need to do that. I have some rifled slugs. I need to see how far I can shoot one sometime, I guess. Okay, so someone already said it up here earlier, and I think I'm real close to. I think I'm real close to. I think you kind of had this in mind as well. Um, AR-10 and 308, and one of the main things that I wanted to talk about with everybody today was: is there any reason that I should try? Because the 308 6.5 Creedmoor debate is I mean, it's a legit debate. Um, and I did a whole video series on this recently where we were kind of talking about the advantages and disadvantages of both. And 2 years ago, I made the decision to not go the 308 route and to go to 6.5 Creedmoor route. And I mentioned in that video that if I were to make that same decision today, I probably would have made a different decision. I probably would have chose 308. Not that I don't love 6.5 Creedmoor. It's just going through the ammo crisis that we've been going through. 308, you can get it. You can get deer, target, steel case. You can get anything you want in 308. It's all over the shelf. And the 6.5 Creedmoor is hard. It's harder to find. Now I'm reloading now, so it doesn't really matter. Reloading component to component, the 308 is just barely cheaper, mostly just because I'm shooting match grade Hornady bullets that are really expensive, but they're real comparable. I mean, it's probably maybe $5 per 40 rounds that it's more expensive for 6.5 Creedmoor, but off the shelf 6.5 Creedmoor at Academy Sports and Outdoors is pretty big difference. Let's see. Someone said something about, go 6.5 so you can be that guy. Do you have any opinions on 6.5 Creedmoor?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm literally just taking whatever you tell me to do, and I'm so excited about it.
So you guys got to help me out over here.
That's the thing, guys, right? Is that this is why I call Eagle Run, is so that he can help me out. Like, he's my guy, right? He's my gun guy. Like, I know that, and I can just boom. I call him up, and he's got all my answers for me.
I'll try to give them to you without too long of a story as well. Ooh, now this is interesting. Are you even remotely considering subsonic suppressors at some point?
I didn't even think about that, but that would be fun with doing some coyote hunting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could do some subsonic, some precious stuff.
The cool thing about the AR-10,
yeah,
and if we go that route, all those barrels are threaded, so you would not limit yourself. If you chose a 308 bolt gun, potentially something off the shelf may not have a threaded barrel. Most of them do.
Can you swap those barrels out and put a threaded barrel on it? Okay.
You could on a bolt gun, but you're going with a gas AR-10. I don't even know if they make a 308 AR-10 that doesn't have a threaded barrel. So I would think 99.9% of them all are going to be. So this is the other thing is if you start to have real fun with your gun and you're out at the range and you want to, real quick see how do I factor my scope in order to shoot this distance, 308 is already completely figured out.
Okay.
Now 6.5 Creedmoor is pretty prolific as well right now. But let's see, someone else says, what was he talking about? You're a right-handed shooter, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I am a right-handed shooter, so.
Now, MC, we cannot do this to him. I like Evan. I will not wishing the 8.6 blackout on him. It is way too hard. I don't wish that on anyone right now. We gotta figure out some stuff before we start wishing 8.6 blackout on people. It's $3. It's $3 a shot, and you don't know what it's going to do when it comes out. So it's expensive mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, it's an expensive mistake, and then I've already stated that I can't go to buy it off the shelf. So now we're buying $3 bullets.
Right. Or you can make them, and they can.
But then see, here we go again. Then I have to come to your house, which that's just a beautiful thing. So I have to come to your house
Yeah,
and then we have to make them. So
right. So here's the other thing. Before I've kind of already had in my mind 308
okay.
AR-10. I think that's what most people are going to be thinking. But here's what I wanted to bring up to people. Is there any reason that I should suggest to him stay in the AR-15 platform and go to a 6.5 Grendel? That's
Oh,
a consideration.
okay.
So we're going to see if anyone's got any ideas for the 6.5 Grendel. My 2 cents: high BC, high velocity, heavy bullet, in that order. Okay. BC's ballistic coefficient, that's he's probably a reloader if he's using that lingo. Not a first gun build for the 8.6 Blackout, for sure. Ooh, Vanessa Kitty is here. What's up, Vanessa Kitty? Let's see. Angry Sarge, after years of running with standard ambi parts. Okay, the wrong way. Maybe Sarge is left-handed. See, here's the thing. I just got a Grendel, and I love my Grendel. It's so fun to shoot, and it's the AR-15, so it's a little bit lighter.
Okay.
It's a inherently accurate round, and it will easily take down deer and hogs at the distances and size that you're talking about. There's no reason why 120 grain, you can go up to 130 grain bullet for the Grendel. So no one is saying range animal. Oh, here, let me get this one up here. Oh, where'd it go? Range animal distance playing the Grendel versus 308. Okay, so MC, I guess let's clarify, in which way do you think those play into each other? Because are you given I feel like their range is real similar. Obviously, the 308 is a little more capable as far as a larger animal. I don't know. I mean, those Grendels are still they're still zipping out 800-900 yards. Oh, he is not a reloader. Okay, well, he just knows about his bullets, I guess, then. Exactly. Interesting. Okay. Oh.
So here's the funny thing.
Uh-oh.
That is his wife's picture and his wife's name. So that would be Rusty Rieger on there.
Rusty.
Yeah. I'm going to call him out.
Baby hands. You're getting trolled by your buddy now.
I'm getting trolled by my buddy. But that doesn't surprise me because I texted him earlier and was like, hey, dude, I'm going on live. And he's like, he just gave me the thumbs up. So I knew it was going to happen.
It's like, this is going down.
He's like, how can I troll this dude the whole time?
You want me to leave that up there?
Yeah, sure. It's fine.
Yeah, keep it simple. Miles is correct. Keep it simple. The distance, that he said was up to 400 or 500 yards, and the Grendel's good at those, at those ranges. So it's easy to load for, but remember, he's not a reloader, and so
I'm not a reloader.
Yeah, so a half shop is going to have to buy ammo, and that's why I'm thinking 308 is the way to go.
I do have to buy ammo unless I go to Nick's house, and then I can reload.
We can reload. That's right. I'm going to try the Grendel. Like your suggestions for hunting. Okay, good. All right, Nicholas Preston. I think Nicholas Preston's maybe been on here before. I haven't seen him a lot here recently. Okay, so we've got. I think we're going to pretty much narrow it down. It seems like we have a consensus from everybody, and this was really what you and I talked about the same way anyway. So we have a preponderance of evidence that is suggesting that we should do a 308 AR-10. So the next part about this goes back to components. So I'm going to give you a list of the components that you need, and then we can kind of talk about those case by case. But here in the comments for our live stream, I will suggest that the bolt and the barrel be the area that he spends the most consideration on from from a money perspective. And there's probably not a lot of people who are going to be like, hey, the lower receiver really makes a big difference. It's all about the look at that point. And
Okay.
are you planning on going just all black, or do you want to do FDE? Or
So we had talked about that earlier, and my thought
Yeah.
is to go all black because I'm going to camouflage it out. So to to spend more money on it's FTE, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that cool tan color.
Yeah. To spend more money on that, it's just not worth it because I'm gonna camouflage it out anyway. So
Yeah. So the cool thing about AR10 or AR15, both of those platforms, down the road, you're not limited. In fact, Barron says this exact same thing I'm fixing to say. Down the road, you're not limited. You could easily switch over to 6.5 Creedmoor later just by building another upper and reusing your same lower. And
okay.
So it's 2 pins. You've taken an AR-15 apart before. Those two
Yes.
pins pop out, and you just put the other one on. They actually take the same bolt carrier group as well. So it's those bolt carrier groups are like $200.
That just makes it even easier. So basically, you're getting two guns on the lower end for one price.
Yeah, and then down the road, you want to go 8.6 blackout. You just use that same lower and make a new upper.
So now we're getting three guns for one
lower. You can have infinite guns for one lower.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so you just keep going uppers. You get a lower you like, spend some money on a trigger, like all that kind of stuff. Get that the way you like it, and then you just start swapping out different ones. Oh, Bending Ballistics is here. Bending Ballistics is a nationally recognized PRS shooter, long range PRS shooter.
Okay, so what is long range for him?
He will say long range is anything over 1,000 yards.
Okay.
But PRS shooting isn't necessarily about long range. It's more about finding your different distances. I missed our buddy Carl. This is okay. Did you see the video where I broke that guy's gun? It was Carl's gun.
Oh, no, but you had talked about it. You had talked about when we were talking about doing this gun. And so it was, I'm sorry, Carl. I'm sorry for my friend.
He still likes me so far. I'm trying to fix everything for him.
I mean,
he's
so far
a very nice trooper. Upper optics trigger. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Now, I believe I don't know if he currently does, but at one point he was competitive shooting with the 6.5 Creedmoor. I think he's liking some of the 6mm stuff now, but Bending Ballistics, that won't work for Evan because he's got to buy it off the shelf. And so we're just kind of thinking about 308. Keep it simple. Does any AR-10 lower take? Okay, so there is a danger to answering this question because technically, no. And you're going to have to be really specific when you're looking at AR-10 specific components because they do not all work quite as easy as they do in the AR-15 world. In the AR-15 world, any part fits on any AR-15. In the AR-10 world, that is not true. You have all sorts of proprietary stuff going on over there. But in general, if you stay with a DPMS and you pick a high or a low profile, I'll help you out with that stuff. Don't worry about that.
Sweet.
Yeah, MC is here. Okay. Do they have preferences? What do you say? Yeah, so that's just a continuation of his other question. I would recommend that if you pick whatever brand of lower you pick, stick with that upper and stick with that handguard. That's the best way. So if you pick Aero Precision for your lower, get an Aero Precision upper and an Aero Precision handguard. Once you start mixing and matching, you're going to end in, oh, he's into the 6GT right now. He's been talking to me about the 6GT. The 6GT does not stand for Gay Tiger, even though that's the first thing he'll tell you whenever he talks to you. It's not the 6 Gay Tiger.
Okay.
I don't actually know what it stands for, but it's not Gay Tiger. Oh, extreme long range is over 1,000 yards. But if I were to ask him what is long range, he would probably say, oh, even over a mile. Oh, I missed that. Not 1,000 yards. He said a mile. What is it? 1,820 yards is a mile. 5,280 feet.
5,280 feet.
I mean, it's like 1820 or something, 1860
Right.
or something like that.
So over a mile. So is he shooting that competitively, or is that just what he's touching out?
I think he's just talking about what extreme long range is.
Oh, 1750.
PRS shooters don't go that far in general. They
He
stay
just said
over
it right there, 1750.
Yeah. I watched an AR differences by military. It's a real deal trying to figure out what components work with each other. Oh, he has a YouTube channel as well. Anyone who wants to check out Bending Ballistics, he's building a secret rifle. I don't even think he told me about that. Yeah, so we can do all those out of the same stuff. Okay, good information here. Thank you, Eagle. Fly high and proudly. Okay, bending. Oh, Grant, is that what I was saying? I don't even know if that's true. He might be messing with me. Trees, well. 1,760.
Yeah, that's what he said.
1820. I don't know. Whatever it is. I believe him. He would know over me. Although it's just a math problem. You don't get to own math over me, Bending Ballistics. It's 5,280 divided by 3, whatever that is. Okay, so where were we? Components.
Right.
So well, I kind of already mentioned with the upper and the lower and the handguard. I'll send you some ideas, but you can feel free to just kind of Google AR-10 matched receiver set and get an upper and a lower. If you do the Aero Precision route, you don't have to get the upper and the lower at the same time. You can buy one month. You can buy one the next month. I was also recommending that that you don't do an 80%er. I was recommending that you do one with a serial number.
Yeah, you had said that when we were talking the first time. You said for your first build, don't do an 80%er. So can you just walk through with that one more time what an 80%er is?
Yeah, so it's basically of a lower receiver. It's the serialized part of the firearm, whatever that is. That's a little different for every gun. Okay. But for like a pistol, it's the frame that you hold on to. For an AR-15 or an AR-10, it is the metal part that of the bottom that everything hooks to is the lower receiver. And the percentage of completion is what causes that to be now the ATF's trying to redefine all this, but currently, as we currently understand it, it's 80% complete, and you're able to sell that without a serial number. And then the end user can choose to put a serial number on it if they wish. There's a little bit more to it than that, but so for mine, I have a little end mill that I bought as a kit that I can mill mine out.
Right.
And it works on polymer or aluminum.
Sure.
And there's just a little trigger pocket that you cut out in the middle, and then you're able to build your components off of that gun. That it's more you more made that one instead of assembled it.
Okay.
Some people get all fired up about you didn't build the gun, you just assembled the gun. It's like, yeah, you're right, but
you're correct.
It was an 80%er, so I did mill it out.
So the 80%ers are building guns, then? Is that what you're saying?
I guess. Someone will probably challenge that, but let's say yes.
We're definitely going to have somebody challenging that.
They'll give us a hard time if we're wrong. Yeah, you get instant feedback whenever you're wrong, whenever you make a YouTube video.
100%. That's their whole instant feedback. It's like their whole life goal is to find something that you say and
roast them.
You're definitely wrong about that. Yes.
Okay, so so the lower receiver, upper receiver, handguard, that's all personal preference stuff. Okay. You know, if you're a fan of keeping it simple, like I think that was Miles who said that, you cannot go wrong with an Aero Precision upper lower handguard combo. It's a classic look. They're readily available. They can ship it to you immediately. Some of the gun shops even carry Aero lowers. They're in the prolific category. They have a great warranty. I'm trying to warranty something through them right now. Thanks, Carl. We're working on it. Yeah. So anyway, there's that. Oh, he says he's going to challenge me on that. I didn't build it.
As soon as you said challenge, he popped off and said, "I'll challenge."
He was ready. He's probably going to text
me. He was waiting for you to finish your sentence.
He'll text me and be like, "Hey, Bending. He's a good guy. I actually talked to him on the phone today. Okay. See, now you can go big with the AR-10 as well. I mean, if you decide you want to branch out from your 308, you go the 300 Win Mag or the 338. 338. I don't think 338 Lapula fits in there, and you can't go 50 BMG doesn't fit in there. Air Precision AR-10 308, yeah. Okay, so PSA. This is actually one of the things I was going to mention as well, and I think I mentioned to you that the Palmetto State Armory is a great company, and they have deals on stuff. And I almost would say just buy one of their 308 uppers.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with them, and they're
Right.
already assembled, and it's a barrel, a handguard, all the gas stuff is assembled, and it's got an upper receiver, and then you could put that on a lower. I think I saw some deals for those that were like $450 for the complete upper, and that's a bolt, a barrel, a handguard, and an upper receiver. Is it going to win, any precision shooting contests? Probably not, but they make good stuff that you could definitely kill stuff with. Okay, they have 338 Lapula now, 338 Norma. Oh, there's also, there's a company making. I don't think I know Garrett, or maybe he changed his profile picture. Looks like Jesus is giving a thumbs down in that profile picture.
That's exactly what it is.
Welcome, Garrett. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, the 300. Oh, so they do make these little XL cutouts that you can do for some of the other calibers. They do that in AR-15 as well. But okay. MC says it's a roll of the dice on the BCA upper. And I think someone else mentioned Bear Creek. I probably would not. I don't recommend Bear Creek to any of my friends. It's a roll of the dice. That you could very well get a nice performing upper receiver. They're in the very basic category. So BCA stands for Bear Creek Armory or Arsenal. Bear Creek Arsenal, I think. He's given the thumbs down as to YouTube specifically. Okay, yes. So I've had some Bear Creek stuff. Not really very happy with it. I agree. It's just not worth. It's risky. Don't recommend that to your friends.
Is it risky because it's just not reliable?
So reliability, yeah.
Why is it risky?
Because the build quality is not necessarily there. Also, the components, like he says, sometimes you're going to get one and it'll shoot really well. I mean, there's a guy with a 6.5 Grendel that he got from Bear Creek that's making videos all the time about how accurate this thing is. And then you'll have another guy in the next video on the same exact upper, and he's like, "This thing is trash. It won't group for nothing." I had a Bear Creek upper in 223 Wild that was I never even shot it to 100 yards because it was a 10-inch group at 50 yards.
Wow.
Which, no, that's absolutely awful. I mean, that's like something serious. There's something wrong with the rifling bad.
Right.
And again, people who have BCAs, I'm not necessarily hating on it. They can serve a purpose.
Sure.
MC also, I think he's also a reloader, so he might want to try to. Yeah, quality control's terrible. Yeah, risk it for the biscuit. Well, I mean, it's probably saving $100 realistically. So I don't know that it. How's Smith & Wesson's AR-10? Man, somebody, what's quality control? Yeah, see, so here's a guy with a BCA. This is James. He's always hanging out with us.
Sure.
He's got a Grendel with a 1/2-inch group on a Bear Creek. I think
100 yards. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Need some final fit and fit. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to take it apart and fiddle with it, you can get some value out of some of that stuff. But,
sure.
Excuse me. The next part is once we found like a barrel and bolt, and if you find something on Palmetto State Armory that you like,
Yeah.
that could be an option. Otherwise, we can order whatever we want. We
Sure.
can get a really nice, and by really nice, I mean a step up from the stuff at Palmetto State Armory. Now, everyone seems to have a different opinion on this, but some people think that some of those barrels from Palmetto are actually made by FN. The cold hammer forged barrels are made by FN, which is a really high quality company, and they make really good stuff. I'm sure you've heard of FN before. Have you heard of FN?
No. I'm really new to this kind of AR-15. Like, I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm just
Yeah.
really new to this AR-15 world. Like the current guns that I own is the what's it called? Smith and Wesson SV9,
Uh-huh.
which is my handgun.
Yeah.
And then my shotgun that I own is the Remington 970. So that's
Okay.
kind of where I've been for a long time. So
FN made 5.56. BCA has hammer forged barrels now also. So
okay,
there's some people think that the cold hammer forged barrels are a little bit more accurate, and that could be true. I think a lot of it has to do with rifling and all that sort of stuff. But
it's the
if we go ahead,
I said it's the tooling of the barrel, right?
yeah, that's how they hammer out the down the middle, the rifling of the barrel.
Yeah.
So someone else had Bending Ballistics had another suggestion. There's a company called Anderson Precision that makes decent stuff above Bear Creek, probably on par with Palmetto State Armory.
Okay.
But if we wanted to jump up and go to a little bit higher quality in general, now a lot of people are into really super custom barrels, and it's just like anything. You can spend as much money as you want to on a barrel.
Sure.
I mean, if you've got an unlimited budget, there's someone who's making a barrel for that. And you can have them all sort of custom cut and all sorts of things. But I really am liking the Odin Works company right now.
Okay.
They made my Grendel barrel, and I very much like it. And then a lot of people, and I have one of them, my 6.5 Creedmoor barrel is from a company called Ballistic Advantage, and they're associated with the Arrow Precision Company. They make good stuff. Also, probably Daniel Defense would be in that category. You probably heard of Daniel Defense.
No.
Okay.
This is so new to me.
Well, I'm taking notes here for you.
I love it.
Trying to suggest Daniel Defense if possible. Yeah, they're a premium mil spec. Yeah, and Faxon is on my list as well. We're gonna get to Faxon as well.
Okay.
223 or yeah. You gotta, if you're building one, you gotta go wild because David, because it can shoot both. If you're reloading, you're probably gonna reload 223, but if you're shooting like cheap ammo, it probably is 5.56. 5.56 is a little bit cheaper than 223.
Okay.
And then he'll make you a barrel. Here's that. He'll just make you a barrel. Did I miss somebody? There? I did miss somebody. Look at this. Dave Strohmeyer's here. What is up, Dave? Good to see you. I didn't mean to miss your comment here. Hello, guys. My experience has been good. He might actually be the one who has the really good BCA barrel. Is a YouTuber. He makes good videos. I sent one back and asked them to it didn't meet their one MOA, so he made a new one. Okay.
Oh wow.
That's Hobbies Hobo. What's up, buddy? Boutique barrel brands are worth it just for the resellability. He's not wrong about this, because a lot of times they don't really lose any value. Like you buy an expensive, nice premium product, and it's like you use it for a couple of years and you can shake it for about what you paid for it.
Okay. So that's another thought to be putting into it, right?
Potentially. I mean,
okay.
I don't really ever sell firearms, but some people do.
Sure.
I like to keep them. But you could always, upgrade, get rid of something and go Go to the next level. I
Right.
probably should be better about that. Oh, I missed the vintage Jeep here. Okay. Side charger AR10. That's cool. I don't know who makes a side. Probably Bear Creek does because they make a side charger everything. What do you want to do, vintage Jeep, with a side charging AR10 just to be cool? I mean, it is cool, but and he's right. I did say that incorrect. 5.56 can shoot both. He is correct, and I've done that before, although I haven't blown up one of those yet.
You've only blown up Carl's gun.
Oh, and Carl's back here. Okay, he's back in the comments. I was like, we haven't seen Carl for a minute
I
either.
know he left us for a short bit, but he's back.
Such a good. Like, I met him the other day in a parking lot to get his upper receiver from him so I can take it apart and get some stuff sent out for warranty.
Sure.
And like, he's one of those guys where it's like, it seems like I've met him twice officially now. We've talked on the phone and we've texted and we bonded over a tragedy. But he's like, hey, yeah, let's meet somewhere. And I go, okay, you're a little bit ahead of me. So why don't you pick the spot where to meet? You know where this guy picked to meet me? At a Jersey Mike's.
My man.
And I was like, man, are we meant to be best friends? Did we just become best friends? Good dude. Okay, 223. If only there was a 308. Well, what else would you shoot with what's the counterpart of the 3? Oh, like between like 7.62 by 50. Wait, why do I can't say that? 7.62 by 51 versus 308 in a while. That'd be interesting. Okay, here's Carl. He's got a comment. That's how I built his 8.6 by CA. Wait, what is he saying? That's how I built my. Oh, so he's reusing his lower for multiple calibers, I think is what he's saying. And vintage Jeep does not know what he wants to do with it. Okay, fine.
He just wants a side.
Yeah. Like golf clubs. That's true. Thank you, Bending. I did. Okay. BCA makes a side charging upper, wishing there were more out there. Agree. Side charger stuff's cool. I don't own a side charger. I did see at SHOT Show, though, that Foxtrot Mike is coming out with an MP5 style side charging upper, and it's for 9mm, and it's how you get like the bolt hold open, the charger goes up, and then you can do the MP slap to charge your gun. Way cool. Way cool.
Cool.
Listen a lot, say a little. Okay. That's a good general policy for life. It's 7.62 by 50. Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't get the 51 part to come out. I was just thinking 39 for the AKs. See, everyone wants you to buy a suppressor now, and
yeah,
this is a rabbit hole, man.
It is a rabbit hole.
It just keeps on going. Devil Dog Concepts has a side charger adapter with a Smith Tactus. Looks very interesting with a low profile. Okay, so that kind of leads me to there are like 6 or 8 companies that make. So yeah, that's a good point. Almost all of these components are just branded differently, and they're finished. They're finished to a different quality, and then they go through other checks in order to make it to the premium as they get sorted up. Then the premium companies have those products, and they're a little bit more polished and a little bit more, exacting. And then the lower ones, they're all from the same company. It's just how they're finished a little bit.
So is that how these companies are doing it? Are they actually like building the components there, or are they just getting mil spec components and then they're finishing them out to their specs?
Yeah, I used to know how many forges there were that were actually making uppers and lowers.
Right.
And there's just a small handful of forges that are actually making the uppers and lowers. And once you get really into it, you can look at the little stamp in the corner and you can see which forge it was made from. And you'll see that same forging from different manufacturers. So it started out life from the same spot. But this guy sells it for $75. This guy sells it for $100, and this guy sells it for $300. It's the same part. It's just what has it been through in order to be refined?
Sure.
I think there's a lot of industries that are kind of like that.
Sure.
Okay, so this is kind of getting me to the next thing, because we talked about being able to have the flexibility with different uppers and lowers down the road, which I think is cool just to have that flexibility. So after that, do we do so as since Half Shop is not a shooter who has a lot of experience with this platform.
Correct.
Should we start off with a mil spec trigger for him? I can show him how to polish it up and make it as smooth as we can get, and then maybe down the road throw in $100 trigger. I have found that the $100 trigger is generally a pretty nice addition. I used to think that mil spec with a polished job was the way to go because it was cheap and it was free, and you just polish them up and bend the spring a little bit, and it
And you're ready to rock and roll again.
yeah, it makes it nice,
Now,
nicer than the gritty.
does that make it like? Then are you setting it to? Because I know, like on my pistol, I've set my trigger to a certain poundage, right? Does that make it? Are you specking it out to a certain poundage that you're specking that out to, or are you just doing mil spec, polishing it up, pulling the spring out, and you're ready to rock and roll, and it just is what it is?
When you take it right out of the box, they're
Yeah.
pretty heavy. They could be 5 to 7 pounds, pretty
Right.
heavy trigger.
Right.
But when you do a little trigger job to it, just like a real minor trigger job, I bend the spring a little bit to take a little bit of weight off.
Sure.
So you don't mess with reliability too much, because you want a good strong hammer strike on especially AR-15. The nicer 308 ammo doesn't really require as hard of a hammer strike, but you can get away with a lighter trigger pull. But the hard part is to get the trigger pull lighter and not lighten up that hammer strike.
Okay.
You still want a full power hammer strike, especially if you're shooting like steel case, cheaper ammo. Some of the primers may not be as soft. I know that there's a little bit of research on that, but I think bending it, but they do make different spring weights as well. Like you can buy a spring that's mil spec style, but it's just considered a lighter spring.
Okay.
And those are potentially worth it. Also, they're like $8 or $15. Like it's
so so with that you wouldn't have a lot of investment in it. So you could take a mil spec, polish it like you're talking about, buy a better spring, and then you could be in a better trigger than you were before.
Right. Yeah. And it's when you're first shooting, you probably won't mind some of the things that are coming from that mil spec trigger.
Yeah.
And then once you like have a little bit more experience with it, you'll realize that it doesn't break exactly the same every single time.
Okay.
And you'll find that could be like, I feel like I pulled it really hard and it didn't go off. And the next time you'll be like, oh, that was better. Like it's just a little inconsistent. And they make some really great triggers that are it just makes it so enjoyable to shoot. I have one from Trigger Tech that is on my 6.5 Grendel, and this trigger is like $250 just for the trigger.
Wow.
And you're like, that's stupid. And I thought that too. And I only bought it because I have a YouTube channel. It's the only reason why I bought it. I never would have bought it because I would have thought it was just dumb. And I had every intention of like testing it and kind of making fun of it. Like, why would someone spend this much money on a trigger?
And then you shot it and you're like,
not anymore. No,
I can't go back.
No, I'm bougie trigger only now.
You're only a bougie trigger now.
Yeah. Okay, so what is Atom Bomb saying here? I must have missed something. I'm telling you, enhanced firing pin. I wonder what. I wonder in the 308 how much of an issue that is, because there is some. Start with okay. So here's some people talking about triggers. I guess we missed some of this. Oh, these guys are talking about how many people are making stuff. Very few. Very few. I have a CMC trigger that I absolutely love, and I bought it on sale from a gun shop for 40% off, and it came with an upper or the lower parts kit, and I bought it for like, I think it was like $60 or $70, and I bought 2 of them, and they had 2 or 3 more, and one of my regrets in life was not buying all of them. It's a heck of a trigger for They
Okay.
sell for like 120. Heck of a trigger for $100. See, and they're in Fort Worth, Texas as well.
Okay.
CMC. Right, but we can well, okay. So he's saying because when you buy a lower parts kit, it comes with a trigger, or you can
Sure.
buy a lower parts kit without a trigger.
Right.
He's saying don't spend the money on the mil spec trigger because that $20 you could apply towards
Your new trigger.
yeah. I have an extra Davidson defense trigger that's currently not spoken for, and I very well may donate that to your project here. That might be a little perk. It currently doesn't have anywhere to go, and I don't have another build coming that doesn't have a trigger assigned to it. Cartridge drop in like Trigger Tech. Yeah, that's the one. Mine is a Trigger Tech Diamond competition. What do they call it? Trigger Tech Diamond competition short 2-stage trigger. I think it's called a short reset 2-stage trigger.
Okay.
And it is so nice. Okay, Trigger Tech. Yeah, he's saying all the good brands here. I like Trigger Tech. Although Timney came out, I think Timney has a new trigger at SHOT Show this week. Enhanced firing pin. So is this one a little bit longer, Atom Bomb? Is it the one that's a little bit longer of a firing pin? We probably would just run with the Aero BCG or Palmetto State one that comes with our upper. It's probably what we'd go with. What's this guy saying? Not sure. Oh, he's talking to somebody else. Okay. Q. Okay. So Q, this company called Q, they make a trigger and it's called the world's best trigger. That's the name of it. And I believe that it is the most expensive trigger that I've seen. It's $350.
Holy buckets.
And apparently it's worth it because I have heard a couple people who have it, and these are people who have like the trigger text like what I have, and they're saying that this is worth it, and it makes me so fascinated. And if I weren't 15 projects deep over here, I would order one. I will have one day.
I mean, that's basically by the end of the year you're gonna have one because you're a trigger bougie person anyway. So
yeah. I have a Davidson defense trigger. I think I'll donate to you. Okay, now this is a good suggestion as well. Geisley has those non cassette ones, and they're a 2-stage trigger. Do we think he should get a 2-stage trigger though for what he wants to do? I mean, I like them for hunting, but not everybody does. Are you familiar with 2-stage, 1-stage triggers? Does that ring a bell for you?
Learn me something.
Well, you have what kind of a handgun did you say you had?
SVG 9. Smith & Wesson.
Okay, so when you can start to pull the trigger and it doesn't go off yet, and have you heard people talk about like the wall?
Yep.
So they call it stage that trigger. Have you been to like some gun training and they say stage your trigger and then fire? So that staging of the trigger, that's actually the first stage. So a 2-stage trigger has a little bit of I think it's called take up. A little bit of take up right there before you get to the part where you can feel that it's going to break.
Oh, okay.
So a 2-stage trigger is designed that way, where there's take up and then fire.
Yeah.
A 1-stage trigger has no take up, so you pull and it goes off. It's boom. And so people who are trying to do really accurate things typically like a single stage. Well, I'm sorry, like a 2-stage trigger. More hunting. I think like combat style trigger would be like a 1-stage trigger or a single stage trigger.
Sure.
At least that's how I.
Yeah, because my SVG 9, it does have a 2-stage trigger. It's set up that way.
Yeah.
It's you can feel it kind of click into the second stage and then you can fire.
And it's not going to go off until you push a little more.
Yep.
Vanessa is going to build something in Texas when she comes to. She's going to build something, I think is what she's saying. Make it bigger in Texas, Vanessa Kitty. Vanessa Kitty I see her all over live streams. I remember the first time she came on, I was like, no way, Vanessa Kitty is in my live stream. That's awesome. She's like famous. So Palmetto State Armory, we're back to Palmetto State Armory. They are doing amazing things right now. They're rebranding some triggers that are from other companies, and they're calling them Palmetto State Enhanced Polish Trigger, different models, and they're good and they're a good price. Some of them are. Oh, he got one for. Oh, he's not talking about the cassette ones. He's talking about the mil spec style ones. Yeah, I've seen those for like $30 and $50. They're good. Oh, I didn't know she lived in Fort Worth. That's awesome. I'm right by there. Did someone remake a Mauser broom handler with aluminum? Oh, David, I don't. The vintage firearm stuff, I don't know anything about. I meant to say Faxon earlier. I need to keep Faxon on my list for you as well. Faxon makes good stuff.
Okay.
Everybody likes the Elfman. I almost bought an Elfman, and then I went with the Trigger Tech. Oh, that's what it's called. He corrected me. It's not called the world's best trigger. It's called literally the best trigger ever made. He's right. I said it wrong. He's right. And they're like 300 yen. Wait, Fostech. Oh, Fostech has a 400, which I own. Nicholas Preston is a baller. That's awesome. I'm intrigued by this. I'm gonna have to go look these things up. Everybody likes Texas, Vanessa. Yeah, you can swap triggers in no time. I don't know. Have we confused you tonight, or do you feel a little bit more knowledgeable?
I do feel a little bit more knowledgeable.
Bending. He's trying to get me on the hook to get you a nicer trigger. He's always pushing buttons. He's so funny.
It's great. So another thing you talked about is barrel length.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that's a good question.
I think there was a comment like way early in our thing that was talking about different barrels. But yeah, I don't know. So let's talk about it.
I cannot recommend that you get anything under 16 inches.
Okay.
That's really hot right now in the industry. Do not go under 16 inches. I don't even want to talk about it. The pistols are making everybody crazy right now. I would stick 13.7 or longer. Okay, so he's talking about ballistically speaking, you need to be above 14 inches. And I'm saying you need to be above 16 inches because I'm not even going to begin to talk about pistol braces. There's no reason why you should not choose an 18 or a 20-inch barrel. I don't think you should choose a 16-inch barrel. I think you should probably choose an 18 or a 20.
Okay.
In general, the longer barrel, minute, more velocity.
Sure.
Minute, more accuracy. That's all very debatable. It depends on your ammo and what you're prioritizing. But yeah, of course, Adam, we are definitely angry at the ATF right now. But I need to look up. Since I'm not familiar with 308 twist rates. I'm sure that they're like 7 or 8. Somebody help me out with 308 twist rates. He's going to probably need probably going to shoot 180 grain bullets. I think that 1 in 8 would be the way to go, but somebody might have a different opinion for us on 308. Okay. But an 18-inch barrel, a 20-inch barrel, I would choose one of those. Some of those 308s might be actually a 1 in 9 twist. I'm thinking now.
1 in 10 twist.
Oh, somebody already saying?
Yeah.
Oh, Bending. He would know. 1 in 10. Okay. He has a vast amount of knowledge.
He does.
Yes. And he's very quick at typing. Okay, he's seeing he's going down to 178s. Okay. How much faster are the 170s and 180s versus the 190s, Bending? Are we looking at that much of a velocity difference? Because I don't think the 1 in 10 is for that. Wait, no, the 1 in 8 or 9 would be for the heavier stuff, right, David? Is that right? Twist rate is usually 9-10. Okay, that's what I thought. 8 would be, I think I was thinking 8 because I was looking at some 308 pistols back when I was looking at barrels. I think some of those you can get some twistier barrels for the shorter ones. Yeah, it's not much. It's 150 feet per second, so it's not much.
So the 8, 9,
Negligible.
and 10, does that mean it's making 8 rotations inside the barrel? Or what does that mean?
It depends on. It would depend on how long the barrel is
Okay.
to tell you how many rotations it makes.
Okay.
But it's based on per inch, the
Okay.
number of rotations
Okay.
per inch. If you want to go shorter, yeah, we're looking, Nicholas. We're looking at the 308 platform, AR-10, so that we can get to the 308 bullet. Yeah, it's a ratio.
Okay.
Yeah. 20-inch barrel, same bullet, 27 feet per second versus. Oh, so it is a little 155 grain ELD though. That's a little lighter. Why was I thinking 180s? Everyone on here is saying
Yeah.
170s. He is not going to reload bending, and
Well,
I do not reload 308. I don't have anything to reload 308.
Bending will make him reload 308.
I am not reloading for you. I have learned my lesson. No one will shoot my bullets ever again. Yeah, he's buying off a shelf. 168s are the king of 308. Why was I thinking they were 180s? Man, I must be way off on my 308 bullet weights. Vanessa Kitty's a reloader, Evan.
I see that.
So reloading.
I mean, I'm sure I'd love it because I love doing all kinds of building of stuff. So, but I just don't have the equipment for it. So,
yeah, it's right up your alley.
And my only gun that I really have in a ballistic of anything is the what's it called, the 9mm. So,
oh yeah,
and you can buy that stuff so cheap it's not even worth reloading it.
I've been thinking every time I see these deals come out on 9mm, I'm like, do I just buy a case? Because
I mean, by the time you buy the brass, you buy the slug. I mean, and the grain. What's your price point for reloading it than the price point just buying it?
A great question. Sorry, I had to cough real quick. I believe when I did the math on it, I haven't done it recently, but last time I did the math on it, I think I was able to make 9mm for like 18 to 20 cents a round.
Sure.
And right now you can buy it as cheap as 22 to 26 cents a round. And we're talking about junk range ammo.
Sure.
So you could save around 10 cents.
Okay.
Yeah. And so how much 9mm are you going to have to shoot to justify the $2,500 in reloading equipment? I mean, if you're shooting a lot, you could get there.
Yeah. But if you're not shooting, like I'm probably shooting once every 3 months. So I don't shoot that much.
It'd be hard to justify reloading. I mean, unless you just wanted to do it as its own hobby.
Sure.
Yeah. Everyone, pay attention to. Wait, what is he saying? Yeah, pay attention to it. Reloading is simple. Just pay attention to your charges. Eagle Run. Yes, Adam, I had a spicy bullet. Yes, sir. How long will it be until the internet forgets about my mistakes?
Never. Somebody's going to always bring it up. Remember that one time?
Yeah. Wait, are you that idiot?
Are you that guy that blew that other guy's gun up?
Yeah. I'm just going to make a t-shirt.
That's what we need to do. I got it.
It says Carl is a really nice guy. Is what the t-shirt says.
No, we're just going to put on it. I owe Carl a gun.
Yeah, that's what it says. I owe Carl a whole new gun.
And then everybody's going to ask you, why do you owe Carl a gun?
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to even talk about it.
So, like, realistically, I didn't have to tell anyone about this. Like, I'm very transparent in what I post.
Yeah, sure.
I felt like, people need to know that this is a possibility. It's not something wrong with a bullet. It's just something I did. And, it It would have been really easy to just keep that between me and Carl. And
Yeah, but then you don't get the content, man. It's all about the content, bro.
well, I did not do that for content, but jeez Louise. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Was it just a hot load on your side?
Well, it's still up for debate, but it was either a bridged load, which means it was not enough powder, and it caused a weird explosion to happen that was overpressurized.
Okay,
Either way, it was overpressurized.
sure.
Um, and then the other way was I double charged the case, and I put twice as much powder in there as there should have been. So it's between those two options. So I want to be able to rule out that I double charged it because I was very careful and I'm very diligent when I'm doing that stuff. I'm only reloading when I do that. Like I wasn't even filming this part. Like I was just over here at the reloading just on my own. Achoo! So I feel like it has to be a bridge load because I want to be able to rule out that it was that. Yeah, Kentucky Ballistics also did what I did, although he was shooting someone else's reloads. And did you hear about this guy?
Was that the guy with the 50 cal?
Yeah, that shot him in the neck with the back of the
Yeah.
gun. Yeah.
No, that wasn't a reload, right? That was
It was
I thought it was just an old round.
I thought someone made him up though. I thought they were like
No, I thought it was an old round that he was shooting through it. And
they
he
call
had
him like a slap round or something.
yeah, let's see who comments on this, but I'm pretty sure it was an old round that he was shooting through. He was shooting through those, what's it called?
The RN
No,
50s.
he was shooting through the fire hydrants.
Oh right. He was popping holes in fire hydrants.
Yeah, because it was that armor piercing bullets, and so he was shooting through the fire hydrants, and
The Siraboo.
yeah, and that was
The
a
back
bad deal,
cap.
man.
The back cap came
Yeah.
off the breech.
Yeah, blew
And-
off because it was double loaded.
Yeah.
That dude's dad saved his life, man. That was crazy.
That's such a wild story.
I know, man. It's fantastic.
So it makes me feel a tiny percent better if it was a bridge load because that means that I did not royally mess up and double charge something.
Sure.
So I want it to be a bridged load. But it could have been I messed up. It sure could have been I just messed up. I wonder if my next after would block some of the people I can't see in chat. Oh, David, here's the thing. I'm streaming on Twitter, Eagle Run 2-3, and Eagle Reloads. So the comments that are coming to me are from all of those. And so that's probably why you're not seeing some of the comments that I throw up there. Because I don't actually know. Oh, does it say where they're? See, that one says YouTube.
Isn't that what the YouTube sign is down by his thing?
Maybe nobody's watching us on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, comment for us, please.
I think all these people are from YouTube.
It wasn't someone else's reload. What did he say? It was an old slap round. Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I can't see Vanessa and Bending. Tell him I say hi. Okay. I got you up on the big screen, David. Everybody can see you. One of you is on Eagle Reloads, and one of you is probably on Eagle Run 2-3. That's probably the difference. We're going everywhere. He said it turned out to be a reload. See, I thought it was something about reload.
Oh, okay.
It was. Bending is on Eagle Reloads. Okay.
Okay.
I'm looking at the top 3. Oh, it's Musco Gucci. Well, he has a $400 trigger. So, Nicholas Preston, we need to be friends, Nicholas. I need to see what you're doing. If you got something cool, let's talk about it. He's so what are the top 308s that you're looking at that must go Gucci? Like, what are the fanciest ones? Reload channel. Oh, he just switched. Thanks. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter either way. I don't know what the fanciest 308s are. If I were building a 308 and I was trying to like, stay in the $1,000, $1,200 range, I like Arrow and I recommend Arrow. I would probably pick a little bit fancier of a upper and lower receiver. Maybe something from like SLR. I really like SLR rifle work stuff right now. They make a really cool looking stuff. The function is the same as everything else. I would probably choose an SLR. I'm ordering one for 8.6 Blackout. I have not ordered that yet, by the way. It's coming soon. But I would probably pick, I think Odin Works makes a 308 barrel. I think they're my first choice. I would also look at Saturn, makes a good barrel as well. Okay. I was on someone who was selling, I forget what website I was on that was selling Saturn barrels, but some of those barrels are like $600 for just the barrel.
Buckets.
Yeah.
That's just for a barrel.
But that's just the barrel. That's absolutely nothing else.
That's crazy.
V7 barrels and Proof Research carbon fiber barrels. I'm not into the carbon fiber barrels. They're good for hunting, like the first 3 shots, but Arrow would be his default SHTF, and that's because they're affordable and they're reliable and dependable. And I think the little end of his comment here tells us what we need to know. Arrow, man, can't go wrong with Arrow. He says F1. F1 has some really cool ones, and they are from Texas. Let's see, 308. Where'd that go? 308. That I bought charge a thing. It won't be all the proprietary POF. So the what does POF stand for? I forget what POF stands for. Patriot Ordnance Firearms, I think. They make good stuff. Yeah, Bending is a big fan of Saturn barrels. I probably got that from him. He probably told me to do that.
The custom fiber barrels. I've never heard of that, but that doesn't sound safe.
The carbon fiber, so they thin out the barrel to make the barrel lightweight, and then they wrap the barrels in carbon fiber to add back the strength and rigidity. But the profile of the barrel is actually very thin, and so I feel like you have to shoot them cold, like your first shot, and then you need to wait like 3 hours before you shoot it again, because you're not going to get groups out of them, because once they heat up, they just perform way differently. So if you shot like a 5-shot group out of a carbon fiber barrel, that first shot's going to be way different than shots 2, 3, 4, and 5.
It sounds like it would move a lot, though, being carbon fiber.
Let's see. Okay, he agrees. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go out and if you're a hunter and you've got your scope dialed for that first shot,
right,
you're probably not going to take multiple shots while you're hunting.
No.
So carbon fiber is great because it's lighter weight.
But then that takes me out of target shooting.
You couldn't go plink 30 or 40 rounds and get the accuracy out of the first 3 to 5 shots. Trading weight for bulk isn't a good trade. I agree with you, David. I agree with you. It's possible that someone could make a case that they would choose a different decision, but I agree with you. So those are the air guns. Have you seen those guys? Those awesome air guns?
Yes. I have a friend of mine that his dad has one, and he brought it over one time, and we were just plinking off stuff. That stuff is cool, man.
And they have all sorts of different calibers. They even have 50 cal ones.
They have a 50 cal that you can run out of those things out of air compressed. So Nicholas, it sounds like he's in Texas. Maybe we need to meet up. Although I will not let you shoot my reloads. We got 80%. 80% arms is already here, and True Velocity is making lighter 308 cartridges. Oh, some lightweight, some zingers. Yeah, it's Patriot Ordnance Factory. I said firearms. Patriot Ordnance. Yeah, 80% arms is here. Proof barrels aren't enough. What is? I don't know what that means, Garrett. I'm sorry, brother. Carbon fiber heats up fast, and it doesn't disperse the heat the same.
115. Yeah, that would be like a 9mm projectile, right? Bending. Oh, Ron Wayne is here. He's a good dude. Okay. All right. So I quit taking notes. I'm sorry. I quit taking notes a little bit ago. I'm going to send you some. I'm going to send you some stuff for you to look at, and you can go through and look at some of the components.
Right.
I guess it won't really matter what order you get them in because we can't do much until you've pretty much got it all together. It's possible you could focus on a lower first and get your lower done.
Right.
There's a couple of gun shops in the area that I know of that sell arrow lowers that are like ready to go. They're about 120, I think, for a lower. And you fill out your paperwork. They run your background check, and then you can take it home. I think. Do you have a concealed permit?
I do.
Okay, so it makes it a lot faster when you fill it out. Sometimes you have to wait.
I think it's not even called that anymore.
What's?
It's called a license to carry.
I don't have my wallet on me. I get. Am I old school calling it CHL?
Okay, yeah, that's probably about 5 years old.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, license to carry handguns is what it called. I just had to redo mine this year. So it's a license to carry handgun is what it's called.
So you still have to do your 4473,
right?
But it will get with the times.
So I feel good. I feel good about myself now because you're teaching me all of these things, and I taught you something tonight. So that's fantastic.
I just call them CHLs.
Yeah, nobody calls them CHLs anymore.
Yeah. You have your, is it LTC? That's what they call it. LTC.
LTC is what it's called. License to carry.
So you still fill out the same form,
right?
But I think it's just faster for you to, they run it through and you walk out the door. Sometimes they can hold you for like up to 15 minutes or something. I think if you don't have them, sometimes they take a minute longer. And then once you have your lower receiver, and some of these places even sell complete lowers, which is a whole nother thing. We'll have to look at and see if you get one with a stock and stuff already on it.
Right.
But the lower receiver probably be the first spot to start.
Okay.
But I'll send you a list and we can kind of go through some components. I have a list on my computer for AR-15s of every single component that you need to make one, and I'll only have to lightly modify it for AR-10, just a couple different directions. It's mostly the same components, but we'll go through that and see if we can get you going in a direction. Yeah, I think we all agree 308's the way to go. You don't have any problems with 308?
I don't, because I'm just you're my gun guy, so I have to go to you for all this stuff. So I'm in on the 308 because I think, and it just really gets down to the ballistics, right? I can't, like, it's probably the easiest to obtain from any like academy or anything like that. So now if I was reloading, then it would probably be a totally different story, right? Because then I could do anything I wanted to do. But since I'm not reloading, then I'm just gonna stick with the 308.
I think I'm a little jealous I don't have a 308. I love my 6.5 Creedmoor, but it's just I'll have to get one eventually. I just have like 15 in front of it before I can build myself one of those. 5 years in Alaska. What does that mean? Okay, so there was another comment here. Yeah, so David is not wrong. At some point, we would need to talk about the stock, whether it's a fixed stock or an adjustable stock. I'll show you a couple of different choices for that. I would imagine that. Do I not have one here? I do. This is not a pistol brace. This is just a stock. So these adjust, right? And you can adjust how, like, for your length of pull. Yep. This is just a cheap off-brand one. I don't remember who makes it, but they make them that are adjustable and they make them that are fixed. The fixed ones are nice, but I feel like to give you more flexibility, you would probably want to go with an adjustable,
Okay.
especially since it's like you could collapse it down a little bit as a smaller package when you're putting it on, in the gun safe or putting it in a bag to go to the range. I do find it a little bit more convenient because you can take a couple inches off the length of your gun,
Sure.
which is a little bit handy. You can buy a smaller gun bag instead of having to. I have one that needs like a 48-inch gun bag, and some of these PRS shooters need these mile-long gun bags to put their whole gun in because they're so big.
Yeah, but see, I'm a leather worker, so I can just make my own gun bag.
That would be amazing. Oh, we call it a 308. Safer to not reload. It is, MC. Thanks a lot. MC is building a beautiful barn. That's like a hay shed up on his property. I think he's in Michigan. Yeah, you missed that part. We're looking for a hunter plinker.
Yeah.
That's what he's wanting to do with it. See, foldable is this is a great suggestion because foldable is awesome, but that's another $200-$300 component to make it foldable. We could add that later if you're into it.
Right.
The Magpul PRS stock, he's not going to do long range. He's just going to hunt with it and plink with it. He has two. See, a lot of these guys that have ARs in 308, they have several of them because, you can get your 16-inch battle rifle and then you can get your 20-inch hunter and you shoot the same bullet. It's kind of cool. Oh, needs a longer. Okay, length of pole. Just 300, 400, 500 yards. Just hunting in Texas, hog hunting.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of hog hunting's inside of 100 yards.
Yeah, it is inside of 100 yards.
See, these PRS shooters, they have these like golf cart looking things. And then they also have these just little caddies that just wraps around the gun, and it's like a handle. So you don't put your whole gun in a case. You just kind of put your scope in a case with a handle, and it wraps around the gun. So a lot of these PRS shooters don't even have like big cases.
Okay.
What is the difference between a gun collector and an enthusiast? Oh, it's a joke. He told us a joke. You're correct. All right, we've been going for an hour and a half. You need to bounce out?
No, I'm good. I'm here till you want to quit.
Okay. Nicholas is suggesting that we discuss scopes.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I have a couple things about scopes. I guess I've recently shooting at distance up to 850 is as far as I've ever gone, but shooting the 300, 400, 500, 600 yards that I've enjoyed shooting here recently, I have found that I appreciate some different things in a scope than I did when I was just putting a scope on an AR-15 to go shoot 100 yards.
Sure.
And there is definitely there's definitely a case to be made for like getting a nice quality scope, but they're freaking expensive. I mean, there's just no way around it. Scopes are expensive, and there's a lot of rules of thumb or thought that you should spend what on the gun the same that you spend on the scope, and 3 months salary for a wedding ring and those sorts of things that people say to justify how much stuff costs. But I have found a company that I'm a big fan of, and they're actually going to come on a live stream here in the next 2 weeks and talk about some of the different things about scopes and what they do for their company. But the company that I like right now is Tract, and TRACT. Big fan of theirs. I like everything about them. I like the price. I like the glass clarity. I like the way that they feel, the way they look. They do everything they're supposed to do, and they do everything they're supposed to do, and they're like $1,200 instead of, I feel like they punch a little bit above their weight. I feel like they would compete against a scope that's $600 or $800 more expensive. Maybe up to like a $2,000 scope.
Okay.
But there's for for this type of build, and I'm pretty sure bending build. Yeah, see, I knew he was gonna. I actually was looking for this comment because I knew he was gonna say it. He's
Vortex.
he either is or was sponsored by Vortex, so they send him Vortex stuff, and he knows how to use it. So the basic PST Viper scope is a great scope. It's nice and clear, but they're like $1,200.
Wow.
And I think they make some that aren't like, mine was 30 zoom. I think they make like an 18. You probably could get away with a little bit less zoom.
Sure.
Like probably like a 16 or an 18 would probably be plenty. Most people like to get zoomed all the way in. USA up all night. I remember that back in the day. My longest shot with 308 is 1,000 yards. Whoa. That's got to be like 30 or 40 inches of drop. I've heard of people snapping bolt catches and cracking the frame. It's not worth it, in my opinion. Did someone ask about that? Because is it the dry firing that is the problem? I think the lore that I've heard about this, Baron, is when you have the upper receiver off and you let the hammer hit the slide when there's no BCG in there. That's what I've heard is the problem. Don't shoot it with the upper off. Vortex is a good budget option, and then they also have the Razor, which is their higher end version.
Okay,
but they're like $3,000.
Holy buckets!
And
you can probably go up from there, right?
Oh, yeah. There's Bender and Schmidt that are like $6,000, and well, we need to find out what kind of scope. That's what we should have asked. What kind of scope does Nicholas have?
Yeah, he has a $450 trigger. So, what kind of scope do you have?
Keep your eye away from it. You don't want a black eye. Just shoot your eye out.
Thank you.
Vortex Viper. And then he brings up a good point. I'm not really recommending anyone do MOA right now. I think everyone should do mill. That's the least boomer thing about me. I think everyone should do mill. So Athlon has a good scope.
What's the difference between MOA and mill?
It's the best way to describe that without using too many words is it's the difference between inches and imperial and metric.
Okay.
That's the best way to describe it. It's not exactly that, but it's a different unit of measure.
Sure.
First focal planes. Think you should just get a 6 zoomy for the cover the distances? I mean, there's like a 10 or 12 power scope. There's nothing wrong with that. Whoa, this guy's in Thailand? Oh. What's up, Grayson? Interesting. Yeah, he says go mill and thank me later. Okay. I have one Vortex. I have the PSV. I have the Viper, and I think it's like a 25 zoom or a 20 zoom. I really like it. It's not as clear as my Tract, and the way that you interact with the scope, it's not as satisfying as the Tract. My Viper's a little hard when you turn the zoom. Scope and power range. PSD. Okay, so there's some the older models that you can get for a little bit cheaper, says Nicholas.
Oh yeah, I like that 400.
Because they did discontinue some models, I believe, last summer.
Okay.
They came out with some new ones. But Athlon is a good budget option, and Riton is how you say that, Riton that he posted earlier. Riton. Low end magnification in 1 to 3 is better than 5 to 7 for a scope. You don't have to. He's always telling me, he always says I use too much Zoom. That's what Bending says. Because I believe I have up to a 30 on one and I have a 25 on the other. And he's always like, you don't need more than 18. You don't need more than 16. Now he's saying you don't need more than 12. He
Yeah,
likes,
he's taking it even lower.
but he's correct. Like,
Right, sure.
you don't need it. You want it.
Right.
What do you say? You only use air gun scopes on this rifle. We got Ron Wayne and Clint Eastwood on the same comment here. That's awesome.
There you go.
John Wayne, Ron Wayne. You probably dry fire with the BCG in though, I think, right? 12 power at a mile. I'm gonna want more zoom if I'm shooting that far.
12 power at a mile. That's
exactly what he meant. Okay, he was talking about that dry fire stuff. What time is it where you are, Vanessa Kitty? I feel like she's like on the East Coast. I don't know where she is.
I think she said she's in Alaska.
Oh, in Alaska.
Yeah.
Why was I thinking she was in Maine or something?
She was talking about the license to carry. And she said something about, I think she said something about being in Alaska. And I think it's like,
time
in Alaska, like 8-hour difference. Forward.
It's like, yikes. Isn't right now the time of day where like the sun doesn't set in Alaska? I think that's right now.
Yeah, during the wintertime.
Yeah. Or it's like, or is it only daylight for? It's one or the other.
I have no idea. We need to ask her.
Help us out, Vanessa. We're pondering about you, and you're right here. Just tell us what's up.
we're like telling her how she's living her life in Alaska, and she could just tell us what's going on there and what time it is. We're like making suggestions of what it is, and she could literally tell us.
Here she's asking Bending what kind of scope should she save for. I'm only recommending Tracked Optics right now, and they have paid me nothing. I paid full price. Well, I got a small discount, but I paid for my scope that they sent me. But I really like it. And my second choice is a Leupold Mark 6. That is my second choice. I have a couple Leupolds. I like those. They are
inches, millimeters.
Yeah, they are more like $2,000, $2,500. If you're dry firing without an upper, you won't hurt your firing pin, correct? Because it would not be on the gun. So Nikon is interesting because, gosh, maybe you guys can help me out. But like 12, 15 years ago, Nikon was making really great scopes. In fact, I have a Nikon Pro Staff on a bolt gun that I never shoot. Someday it'll be a reloading series. We're going to try to make a round that gun will shoot well because I haven't really got it to group very well. But I have a Nikon Pro Staff on there. It's like a 12 or a 14 or a 16 zoom. It's a mid-range power scope, and it is crystal clear, and I absolutely love that scope. I've thought about taking it off and putting on something that I would use because I like that scope so much, but you don't see Nikons anymore. I don't even know if they make them.
I don't know. I haven't seen Nikons in the gun stores.
Yeah, you used to.
I mean, you see them in the optics, right?
They still make lenses and
they still make lenses
camera stuff,
like that, right? And I still think they make binoculars too.
Oh yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, I haven't seen a scope.
She used to live in Fort Worth, but we don't know where she lives now. Yes, Steven, we're actually on Twitter, Eagle Run 23, and Eagle Reloads. Steven, we are on 3 forums. So that's probably why you're not seeing all the same comments. Someone asked that earlier. Less is more. And I actually don't know how many people are watching us because the number that it says up here in the corner it's not an aggregate of them all. I don't know where they get that number from. But I've been watching. I started at first. This is only the third or fourth time I've done this on 3, and I was watching on 1, and I immediately get off, and I'm like, I wonder how many were watching over on the other channel. And there was more people on that channel than there was on just the one that it was showing me.
Oh,
So
really?
less is more in long range. I want to zoom all the way in though, bending ballistics. I want to get all the way in. God, diagnosis. She still hasn't told us where she lives.
It's fantastic. She just keeps bringing all these stuff up. It's awesome.
Hello, Vanessa. Hello. Is that a Texas mile? Yeah, it's a liter. 1 liter is equal to a mile. It's the difference between imperial and metric. Oh, here she is. Oh, we were a couple decades off when she was in.
Oh, whoops.
Atom Bomb is over in Atlanta. Thanks for joining us, Atom Bomb.
That's awesome.
The country mile. Oh, maybe I just need to go down the comments further. Yeah, the solstice was the 21st. Yes. I'm gonna tell you guys something about the solstice that nobody here knows. At least I don't think any of my personal friends other than Evan here is on the stream, but I know Evan doesn't know this. I'm a big fan of what they call astroarchaeology. Are you familiar with what that is?
No.
Okay, so it's the marking of things on Earth that correlate to things in the sky. So, for example, like the pyramids line up at a certain spot and they point in a certain direction, or there's different landmarks that are designed that if you set foot here on the solstice, then you can see the northern star, stuff like that.
Okay.
And in my backyard, if you stand on a rock that I have buried in my backyard, you can see that I have marked the summer solstice and the winter solstice. And this took me 3 years to get right.
Holy
because you got one shot and then you got to wait a year. And the first time I did it, I marked it on my fence because I thought I'd go back later and make it permanent with like an actual stone. And when I went back and moved, I put the stone down and I stood there on the next solstice and it wasn't right. And I wasn't prepared to remark it. And then I had to wait a 3rd year.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was way into that. And I haven't seen that rock in a while. I know it's still there, but so we think that they maybe jumped out of the optic industry is what he's saying. Astroarchaeology. Swamp Fox. So MC just got himself a Rumble. I think it must have been here recently because I've seen him commenting on my Rumble. I think he's like only the 3rd person ever to comment on my Rumble. There was a video that I posted on Monday that got like 20,000 views in like 12 hours. And I went over to look on Rumble and it had 3 views. So if you want to see the difference on eyeballs between Rumble and YouTube, it is massive. Vanessa is in Connecticut. See, I thought she was on the East Coast. So this is at SHOT Show, right? I think they just announced this. I need to look into it more. Yeah, so eventually when you get into the hog hunting, you're probably going to want to look into some different thermals and night vision and all that sort of stuff. And that's something you can easily add later.
Right.
They make an $800 one on Amazon.
Yeah.
And you'll find every time I'm at the range, I see somebody like, oh, I just got this. I'm going to go hog hunting. And they sit there and waste ammo and get frustrated and they won't zero. You've got to it's like you've got to spend, there's like a $2,500 barrier. You got to spend $2,500 or your night vision thermal scopes are no good. So
I was talking to one of my friends, and he is a ex Marine, military police, and he said, "Don't go night vision if you're going to do anything. Go thermal."
Go thermal, yeah.
Yeah. He said, "Don't waste the money on the night vision because it just is not going to perform like you want it to perform."
They're pricey.
Yeah. So he said, "Just go the thermal, or yeah, go the thermal, and it will just be a better experience for you."
So look at what MC did here. Look at you, MC. He's into it. I'm a fan of Swamp Fox. I don't own any of their products, but I like them. They're priced well. I'd like to maybe try one. Do they make one that'll fit my P80 slides? I don't know about that. Okay, budget friendly. Yep. Nikon got out of the scope business years ago. That would make sense from based on what I've seen. Night vision, yeah. East Coast is the Beast Coast, but he's in Atlanta. Does Atlanta claim the East Coast?
I have no idea. Where's that line?
I feel like Atlanta should claim the Gulf Coast, but maybe my geography is off. Full auto is what Bending says on the hogs.
Yeah.
I posted a solution to the APM. Okay. This is. I have like 600 comments that I need to reply to because of these videos have just went bonkers the last couple days. Okay, so where did that go? MC, is it similar to the one that I made where people thought I was being serious, but I made fun of the fact that if you put like a pointed end on this, like a triangle on the end of it, that I don't have one. I don't know where it is. I must have thrown it away. I spent all that time making it, and I think I threw it away. That you could potentially get away from the surface area rule. And then I realized that the buffer tube alone is greater than the surface area. I'm not talking about pistol braces anymore. Never mind. I'm over it. Yeah, iRay has some good stuff. I've seen iRay before. ATL is Eastern, so it claims Southside. She lives 50 miles north along the Long Island Sound. That sounds lovely. Sounds like it would be cold there. Is it cold there?
Yeah, it sounds like it would be freezing there. And here's the thing: I'm from Arizona. I am a desert rat through and through. And when it gets cold here in Texas, and I'm speaking like, I don't know, 50s, I'm done. I'm done. I can't
Agree.
handle it.
I don't like 40s is no go for me. I just don't have clothing for that weather.
That's the problem with Texans, right? Is we just don't have clothing.
It's hunting clothes. You either pull out the hunting gear,
yeah,
or you wear two hoodies. Like
or
you wear one that zips and one that doesn't, and you have yourself some 40-degree weather clothing. I was down these. Okay, you could just attach a laser to the back of your brace. Word. Lived in Tucson twice. So we are going to see some spring training games this year
in Arizona.
Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I went years ago with a buddy, but now that little boy's into baseball a little bit more, we're gonna cruise down there here in a couple of weeks and try to see some games. I think the whole family's gonna go. Should be a good time.
That will be a good time.
Yeah. Okay, so optics, we're not really gonna put a pin in optics right now. We'll have to see what we're into when we get there.
Get the gun built first.
We got to build a gun first, and then I may have something that you can try as well.
Okay.
See what you think.
Yeah. So I have a trip coming up in September, late September. So that would be maybe a good opportunity just to try something, and then go from there. Start building it out. Hey, this is what I really want to do. This is the barrel I really want to go with.
So you're saying try to be done with a gun by September, or what are you saying?
I'm saying you said you had something to try out, so I could try.
Okay.
In September, and then start building everything out from there.
Yeah, that'd be great. Whose money are we spending? We're spending Half Shop's money. Order some custom leatherworks from him so we can get going sooner on his.
Yeah, we can get you some hats rolling.
Some Texans wear flip flops. I do not wear flip flops.
That's very true.
And he says the desert is cold in some places. It is cold in some places. I'll need some long sleeves when I go see spring training games in March or whatever.
Yeah,
Will be
the
it'll be
night.
chilly of an evening. All right. Well, I think I already put that one on there. Whose money are we spending? I'm throwing in a trigger. Bending ballistics. You want to throw in one of your old Vortex. We'll take it.
That's right.
Wear chacos until the snow gets too deep.
There you go.
I don't think he probably wears flip flops. I think he's joking. He seems like he would wear boots.
Yeah, I feel like Bending Ballistics literally wears boots all the time.
He's got a really cool he has a gun room with like the wall that has guns hanging on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm so jealous. Like I don't like the other day, like I have a 10-year-old daughter, and the other day I said, "Hey, when you go away to college, I'm turning your room into a gun room." And she was like, "Don't you dare." Like you're gonna be out of here in like 8 years.
Yeah.
And I'm turning your room into a gun room.
That's right.
Because I can't I need more space. I have to immediately get another gun cabinet that I can at least like lightly lock up some things.
Sure.
I need to immediately do that because we are bulging at the seams. Like there's like 2 or 3 pistols here on my workbench that like really don't have a home. So I just keep them taken apart. Like I just stack the slides up over here.
Sure.
So they're not in a position that they could do any harm to anyone. And they're not ones that are like a part of my home defense system, you know. They're just like range toys, but like I can't even lock them up anywhere right now. I need to immediately expand my locking system. So man, I feel like I'm losing my voice right here. Holy cow. So, all right. Well, I guess we're coming up on 2 hours, so I'll let you go. We've had a good conversation. I think that the way to go about whenever someone asks you, "Hey, what kind of gun should I get?" Like that's such a fun question to answer because you get to ponder with someone. So I've enjoyed going through that. I was so excited that morning whenever you told me that. I was just like, man, because I know I have a literal list right here of what's next, you know.
Right.
But to think outside of and help someone else's problem, it was just really exciting to be able to go through that. So I'm going to send you a list of components. We'll text and talk and see if we can start getting something going somewhere. I think everyone agrees that you're going to be happy with a 308.
Yeah, I think so too.
Agree. I wish I had one for you to shoot so you could test one. You can shoot my 6.5 Creedmoor if you wish. It kicks less than a 308, but not much, just barely less.
Okay. That'd be awesome.
What's he talking about? Are you pondering what I'm pondering? Nicholas Preston has had some great comments tonight, and I don't think he's been on a live stream before.
He's been firing them out tonight. It's been awesome.
Yeah. See, look, Dale's saying what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah. 308 is a master caliber. I mean, someone said the other day, 308 is dead. Like, no, 308 is not dead. 308 is as viable of an option today as it's ever been. I personally, with the 8.6 blackout, I probably won't ever get a 308 because I have a Creedmoor and an 8.6 blackout, and they are going to do the same jobs.
Right.
I kind of want one, but I don't know. I really love the 8.6, the supersonic 8.6. That's going to do for me. It would be redundant for me to get one. So he's put the research in. All right. I'm welcome, brother. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I hope you hang out. I wonder, maybe he could be one of the ones who joined us in the last. I mean, we added like 10% to our, probably more like 15%
Wow,
to our
that's awesome.
little subscriber base in the last few days. So, well, that's already started to happen. The more and more she likes to shoot. I'm not saying no whenever she says she wants a pink AR. Guess what? Daddy bought a pink lower receiver the other day. You ain't gotta ask me twice. I wish my wife would shoot. I wish my wife would shoot. I'd be like, oh, you want a purple one? Okay, I'll make you a
Oh,
purple.
you want a purple one? You want a nice turquoise one? I'll get you one.
Yeah. So I think his daughter shot competitively. I don't know that she currently does, but I think she used
Okay.
to. So
Does he still shoot competitively?
he does. He took a little bit of time off, but the
Okay.
PRS season is over, and I think it's starting back up again. So I'm sure he'll be coming back over. Oh, Dale's in Oklahoma. You're not far from me, Dale. Let's
No.
he comments on a lot of stuff. I've been talking to him for a good time. I'll come up to Oklahoma. What are we going to shoot, Dale? Shoot some watermelons? Yeah. All right. Well, let everyone know once again where to find you.
You can check us out on TikTok at Half Shop on TikTok. You can check us out on Instagram at Half Shop Store on Instagram, and you can check us out on Facebook at Half Shop Store. So check us out there. We'd love to see you guys. Thank you guys for just giving me all this info. It's just been a great time. So thank you guys for that, and thank you Eagle Run for the opportunity to come on your live stream when I know nothing about guns or ballistics and stuff like that. So this has really been fun and really been eye opening.
It's kind of fun to step off into another world for a little while, and
yeah,
I love that, like, there's someone who knows so much about everything, and that's what the internet does. Like,
right.
We were looking at someone said they got a slinky. Like, I think like one of the kids won a slinky, and it was a branded slinky. And they won it somewhere, and they brought it home. We were all four of us were in the living room playing with the slinky, and I'm like, I wonder if there's any slinky videos on YouTube. And so while we're all sitting there, I bring up YouTube, and there is freaking slinky content on YouTube. And there is a guy who's called like Slinky Man or something, and he like sells his own. Well, guess what? We freaking bought a Slinky Man slinky,
Oh my goodness.
off this YouTube, and it's like this perfect one that you can do the slinky tricks with.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I love that there's someone who, and like the internet allows them to just be super passionate about random crap, like
Right.
reloading, and then you get into reloading, and then the next day, oh, do you cast your own bullets? And then once you get into like, oh, whoa, I'm not into casting my bullets. I just started reloading, but like there's always one more rabbit hole to jump into. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Her 50-year-old slinky. Oh man. All right. Okay. Well, thank you guys for watching. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram. And I feel a strike is coming very soon on my channel. Anytime it starts to grow, YouTube comes in with the hammer, and I feel the strike is coming. So make sure you're following on Eagle Reloads as well. I guess that's a backup channel for now. I don't know. I'm not trying to get banned. I'm not like being inflammatory on purpose, but they just don't like what I want to say about stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But anyway, all right. Well, we'll sign off here. Let me end the broadcast.
More accounts.
I'm sorry.
I said just keep making more accounts.
Yeah, which one? Eagle Reloads 24, Eagle Reloads 25.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, hang out here and I'll end the broadcast. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.